We tend to think of justice and mercy as total opposites, right? One is all about accountability and the other is about grace. Well, today we're going to dig into two ancient trials that totally challenge that idea and show how they might just be two sides of the very same coin.
So, when someone's standing there accused and condemned, what's the right call? Do we demand strict, by-the-book justice, or is it a moment for radical mercy? This is the big question, the tension we're going to explore through two incredibly different stories.
All right, first up, we're heading to ancient Babylon to look at the story of Susanna. This is a trial where an innocent person's life is on the line, and the system gets it completely wrong.
So here's the scene. Susanna is known by everyone for her integrity, but two powerful, respected elders in the community have other ideas. They conspire against her and cook up a completely false accusation, using their status to make their lies sound like the truth.
And things go downhill, fast. Can you even imagine? You're dragged out in front of everyone you know, and there's no one there to speak up for you. And just like that, based on nothing but lies, Susanna is found guilty. She's publicly shamed, and the sentence is death. It's the ultimate injustice.
But then, right when it seems like all hope is lost, a voice cries out from the crowd. It's the young prophet, Daniel. He literally stops the execution in its tracks, shouting that he refuses to be part of shedding innocent blood. This is the moment everything changes, a divine intervention against a corrupt system. Daniel is clever. He questions the two elders separately, and of course, their stories completely fall apart. The whole conspiracy is exposed, and the result? Complete vindication for Susanna. Her name is cleared, her innocence is proven, and her accusers? They face the exact punishment they wanted for her. It's a perfect picture of justice, protecting the innocent.
Okay, so let's shift gears to our second case. This one's from the Gospel of John, and it's a total game changer for one huge reason. Unlike Susanna, who is completely innocent, this woman is guilty.
So the scene here is incredibly tense. A mob of religious leaders drags a woman in front of Jesus. They throw her down, announcing to everyone that she was caught in the act of adultery. And according to the law, they say, she must be stoned to death. But really, this isn't just about the law. It's a trap, and it's meant for Jesus.
Now, Jesus doesn't get into a big legal debate. Instead, he does something unexpected. He kneels down, writes in the dust, and then stands up and delivers this incredible challenge. He doesn't ignore the law. No, he just turns the spotlight right back on her accusers. It's a genius move that completely reframes the entire situation.
And you could hear a pin drop. His words just land with this incredible weight. The oldest men in the crowd, the ones who've lived long enough to know their own faults, they drop their stones first, and then the next, and the next, until every single one of them is gone. The threat just dissolves. And suddenly, it's just Jesus and the woman. He asks her where everyone went, and then he gives his verdict. And it's not condemnation, it's mercy. But look closely, it's not a cheap pass. It comes with a command. Go, and from now on, do not sin anymore. It's forgiveness, sure, but it's tied to a call for real change.
So what do we have? One verdict of pure justice and another of radical mercy. They seem like total opposites, don't they? But when we put them together, we find this powerful idea that synthesizes both. It's about condemning the sin, but not the sinner.
And this is where it all clicks. For Susanna, the innocent one, the only right response was justice. For the woman who was guilty, the answer was mercy. Together, they show us the full picture. See, justice is what establishes the standard. It protects the innocent and calls out what's wrong. But mercy is the pathway back for all of us who fall short. One without the other is totally incomplete.
And that right there is the heart of divine mercy. It's not about ignoring sin. Jesus was very clear about that. But he refuses to condemn the person. He offers the repentant a clean slate, a genuine chance to start over.
This promise of a fresh start isn't just some dusty old idea. It's a living one. For Christians, the season of Lent is basically a yearly reminder of this exact dynamic. It's a time specifically set aside to admit our own faults and to accept that same incredible offer of divine mercy, the chance to turn things around and begin again.
So, how do we take this with us? Well, the reflection that inspired this whole explainer actually ends with a short, simple prayer that just perfectly balances everything we've been talking about. Listen to this. God of justice, protect the innocent. That's Susanna's story right there. Grant us mercy, and go sin no more. That's the story of the adulterous woman. This simple prayer holds both truths, justice and mercy, in this perfect tension.
And that brings us to a final question, something for you to think about. Our world loves simple black and white answers. We want either pure justice or total forgiveness. But as these stories show us, maybe the real wisdom is found somewhere in the middle, in learning how to balance that absolute call for justice with the profound, life-changing need for mercy.